if you are looking for a way to get like intel on who's coming to your website and just really squeeze out leads at the top of the funnel and try to convert them into business, Warmly is a no-brainer.
All right. Today we have here Paul Russo. He is the chief of staff at Pump, and he's going to talk a little bit about how they use Warmly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alan, for the introduction. Just a quick background on me again. I'm the chief of staff at Pump, handling sales, marketing, ops, hiring here, in addition to whatever else our CEO needs to be done and can't get to herself. A little bit of background about Pump. Pump helps companies save 60% on AWS for free without any code changes or risks. Right now, we are a team of about 15. We've raised a friends and families round, and we are just now starting to raise our seed/Series A. Cool. So, how is sales and marketing structured at Pump? Right now, how we're viewing sales and marketing is marketing will bring kind of the leads to our self-serve platform. And then once customers are in our self-serve platform, we have a 3-step onboarding process. Depending on what step they're at, sales prioritizes them accordingly. We're really focused on marketing through LinkedIn and Twitter. And then with sales, it's just a little bit of personalized outreach through LinkedIn and email to get those warmer leads into Pump. And then in terms of our sales and marketing tech stack, we use Warmly, obviously. In addition, we use HubSpot, Apollo. We're using Meet Alfred. We use a software called Captain to create our blogs for SEO stuff. We use a little bit of Loop Genius for LinkedIn stuff. And those are the real notable ones. In terms of the problem that we were trying to solve by signing up for Warmly, we have a lot of traffic to our website, but sometimes we're struggling to identify who exactly that traffic is attributed to because the way our sign up process is once you log into your Pump account, we get like a bit of information about you, like your email address and who you are. But there's a lot of people who are coming to the website and not logging in that we wanted to get intelligence on, and Warmly's helped us do that. In terms of the other solutions that we were looking at, we took a look at Factors AI, and we decided on Warmly over Factors because of like the multiple sources of data that Warmly gets to, and the fact that Warmly can actually guess email addresses some of the time, whereas like Factors can't do that. So the fact that, I know it's backed by Clearbit, I believe 6sense as well, very reputable companies with, years and years of history of finding data is something that is attractive. In addition, the fact that we get an email every now and then is nice. And then I think another feature which has been cool for us is the warm call feature because, I'm a big believer if someone's on the hook, you want to capitalize on them there and then. So the fact that I can just video call in, answer customer questions, potentially close a deal on that warm call is something that I think is pretty amazing about Warmly. And the implementation process, it was pretty good. I to be transparent, wasn't a huge part of it as I was on vacation last week and missed the second call, but we had 2 calls with Ryan, and he's awesome. Just like an hour each call, and very supportive. In the Warmly team, when I had questions about stuff, has been very responsive over Slack as well. So that's something that is always appreciated. Time to first value is very quick.
Do you know how long implementation took approximately?
So 2 2-hour sections over a week.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And do you know,
but I mean, we had it set up before formal implementation. So I think it's a very intuitive thing where you don't fully need the person there to understand how to use Warmly. But if you want to get literally everything out of it, it's helpful.
Nice.
Yeah. What was time to first value? It was very quick. We had someone who came across our website who I recognized from a company that we'd been talking to a bit, and I was able to ring in on a warm call, answer their questions, and actually onboard them as a customer, and that was around a 20K deal. So that was pretty sweet for us. I mean, Warmly doesn't cost that much money. I think it's like what 4K a year. So our ROI was like within a week or two, 16K. So that seems like it makes sense mathematically to me.
Makes sense.
So before using Warmly, I really didn't think about like the top of the funnel leads at all. I was just okay, like there are people coming to our website, they're probably there for a second and then they're going off. But then after using Warmly, I realized, when there's consistent patterns of someone's coming to your website every single day, like they're probably interested in your company in some capacity, and it's worth, if it's a good business opportunity, to reach out to them. So I think Warmly really made me think more about like what is considered a lead versus what's not a lead, and like really how can I squeeze every single ounce of interest out of Pump in order to make it the most money as possible and to deliver the most value to the most people as possible, which yeah, it's a game changer for a lot of companies, and it's a great way to make sure that you're capitalizing on every bit of like hard work that you put into your company in your sales force.
And how are you guys using it? What's the process? What's the playbook?
Yeah, so I don't think we really have like a huge playbook around it. It's just kind of something that runs in the background, which is really nice for me because I'm a salesperson who maybe gets a little bit overwhelmed by too much technology. So something I really like about Warmly is it just shows up in Slack for us, like when people are visiting our site. Sometimes we get like interesting competitive intel on it too, like oh our competitor is looking at us, and like or like oh these like VC firms are looking at us, which is cool like to know. And based off of that, like for example, a company I guess I'm not gonna say the name of on this call that would be an awesome customer for us, um, was showing up a lot on Warmly last week while I was out of office. So I wrote down their name and I plan to launch like a campaign around reaching out to that company because if we were to get that company, they would be like a flagship customer and like really help us a lot. And there seems to be some genuine interest there. So that's the main way we use it. And then in addition, like from time to time, we hop on that warm call feature, and really have been enjoying that from our kind of limited test drive of it. I think something that I want to work on more, and as we build out the sales team here, is like have someone during like peak hours of engagement in a day. So like 9 to 10, 4 to 5 Pacific time. Let's have like a rep maybe on call ready to like hop on those warm calls because I think there is a lot of potential there. But yeah, that's how we're using Warmly right now.
Got it. And what would you give Warmly out of 10?
I would give it a 10 out of 10.
And what's the reason?
I would say Warmly is, one, very cheap. I'm someone who's very spend averse personally, and like every sales tool I see pop up, I'm instantly skeptical of. But Warmly doesn't cost that much money, so it makes sense to give it a go. And then once you give it a go, you can see the ROI on it. For us, it's a quantifiable metric of 16K uh, in about a month. So hopefully it can be more, and then that 4K cost is over a year, so maybe it could be like 100K, which would be awesome, or even more. So yeah, it doesn't cost that much money, and it makes me money. And at the end of the day, that's what business is about. So I would say if you are looking for a way to get like intel on who's coming to your website and just really squeeze out leads at the top of the funnel and try to convert them into business, Warmly is a no brainer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate the time here.
Of course. Thank you so much, Alan. It was great to meet you. Let me know if you need anything from me.